Like the light bulb and the automobile, the idea of forming a unified school district did not come easy in Kettle, Moraine. The district was once 11 school districts with a total of 12 schoolhouses, most made up of 1 or 2 rooms. Schools were built 4 or 5 miles apart, just far enough so students could walk to school, a system created by Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd President of the United States and the author of the Declaration of Independence, was a farmer by trade. In fact, over 90% of Americans were farmers in the early 1800s.
He made a strong case for public education because he argued that for a democracy, we need educated citizens. We need people who are smart, not only smart, but also know some things so they can vote intelligently. And that was a strong case he made, and that was a departure from Europe, where education was the privilege of the elite who had tutors for their children, and other children just didn't really get any education, or maybe they learned how to read a little bit at the church or something, but it was not a priority.
Yankee settlers and European immigrants began moving to the area now known as Kettle, Moraine, long before Wisconsin became a state. Movement into the Wisconsin Territory was encouraged in part by the Thomas Jefferson Land Ordinance of 1785. Settlers purchased 160 acres of farmland for $1.25 per acre. On January 31st, 1846, 2 years before Wisconsin became a state, the Wisconsin legislature voted to separate the western portion of Milwaukee County into 16 townships, now known as Waukesha County. Funds from Section 16 sales did not pay for public education, so the first schools in the area were built through the labors and supported out of the pockets of local citizens on a voluntary basis. Schools were built by community members, and tuition was often paid in the form of room and board for the teacher. Genesee School, which was located south of Highway 59, west of Highway 83, required students to bring 1/2 cord of wood for the winter term, and their share of payments for the teacher. How much did the teacher make? At Dousman, Miss C. Bryden earned $11.25 for teaching a summer term. Most women made about $10, but most men brought home $40 per term. Before becoming a judge, the Honorable William H. Hardy was one of the county's first settlers and one of the county's earliest teachers at Genesee Pioneer School. His older students led the class through chanting the names of states and their capitals and the length and location of the world's rivers. Because it was treated like a game, mental arithmetic was a favorite subject of the older students. Hardy spent his evenings thinking up word problems, like this one.
The yearly interest of Harriet's money at 6% exceeds 1/20th of the principal by $100. She does not intend to marry any man who is not scholar enough to tell her mentally her fortune. Were you disposed to be her suitor, or could you tell?
And I'll say this, and I know it's a bit controversial, I think they talked to kids about character, and they talked about, the virtues of being honest and hardworking, and to be generous and kind, and to be understanding and empathic. And I know the word character is very divisive. Some people love it, a lot of people hate it, and it's too moralistic, or it sounds like you can't change it. But I would say this, I think the job of every teacher, no matter how old their students, is to encourage the development of positive character in that sense, in the sense of generosity and gratitude and so forth. And teachers talked about character. The kids knew that it could be changed. So when we talk to kids about character today, it doesn't have to mean that your character is fixed. It absolutely can grow and develop.
Because most children worked on the family farm, the typical school year was just 132 days, nearly 50 days shorter than the modern-day school year. Attendance averaged 59% in pioneer schools, a failing mark when compared to today's standards.